Hi there, everyone. Tamer Chamma of RotoExperts.com back once again, this time with start sits at the quarterback position for Week 10. And the first start I have for you is David Garrard. He's going to be going up against the Houston Texans at home. And Garrard has actually been pretty consistent over his last 4 games. He's notoriously inconsistent. We all know you just don't know what to expect from him from game to game. But over his last 4 games, he's actually had 3 really good games. He's had 1 stinker, but you'll take Garrard being good 75% of the time any day of the week. He's really been pretty consistent over his last 4 games. Now, I think he's going to have another good week this upcoming weekend against the Houston Texans, making it 4 good games out of 5. And it's simply because he's going up against the Texans' pass defense. I've talked about it all year long. It's a terrible pass defense. They've been terrible every single week from week 1 through week 9. Just to give you some stats to back it up, they're last in the NFL in passing yards allowed. They're last in the NFL in passing touchdowns allowed. They're tied for next to last in the NFL in interceptions. They only have 5 interceptions on the year. And they're next to last in passing yards per attempt in the NFL. Just really throughout their pass defense, they've just been terrible. So look for Garrard to really put up some great stats this upcoming weekend. He's really a start in all leagues for this upcoming weekend. He should be one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in points scored in fantasy for Week 10. The second start I have for you for this upcoming weekend is Eli Manning. He's going up against the Dallas Cowboys at home. And Manning has had some interceptions this year, absolutely. He's had 11 interceptions on the year, but his other numbers have been great. He's on pace for well over 30 touchdowns, on pace for over 4,000 yards passing, and he's really become a very good and very consistent fantasy quarterback. Now, he torched the Dallas Cowboys just a couple of weeks ago for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in Dallas, and I think he's going to do something very similar to that this upcoming weekend. Dallas is just in shambles right now. I know they have a new coach, and maybe things will turn around a little bit for them with Jason Garrett at the helm, but still they've quit really on especially on defense. They've really quit. Their secondary looks awful. Their tackling in the secondary looks awful, and I think this potent offense and Eli Manning running that offense is going to be big for fantasy owners of Eli Manning this upcoming weekend. Look for him to put up very similar numbers to what he did a couple of weeks ago against the Cowboys. Like David Garrard, he's a must-start in all fantasy leagues for this upcoming weekend. The one sit I have for you at the quarterback position is Brett Favre. He's going up against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. I don't want you to get fooled by what Favre did this past weekend against the Cardinals, setting a career high for a single game with the passing yards. It was a good game for Favre, but he's very inconsistent still. And he's a guy that obviously throws a lot of interceptions, and you just really don't know what to expect from him. Pass in and pass out. You just don't know what he's going to do on any given play when he's out there. This weekend, he's going up against a pretty good Bears pass defense. They give up some yards through the air, but the big stats they're really good at, and that's touchdowns and interceptions. They've only allowed 5 touchdowns through the air the entire season, and they've picked off opposing quarterbacks 11 times. And that's bad news for Brett Favre because obviously he throws a lot of interceptions. Unless you're in a 2-quarterback league or you're in a very deep league, I would look to sit Brett Favre for this upcoming weekend. So those are start sits at the quarterback position. You definitely want to check out RotoExperts.com for our newly reduced in price exclusive edge package. Now only $12.95. That's half off the preseason price. You're going to get great advice throughout the rest of the fantasy regular season into the fantasy playoffs. And for all of you keeper league people out there, you're going to get some great advice on keepers for the 2011 season. So definitely check it out, the exclusive edge package. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @RotoExperts, and you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @RotoExperts_TC. Everybody have a great weekend. Good luck with your fantasy football team, and I'll talk to you in week 11.